Is the weather out there nice yet?
It is. So late May in Montana is one of my favorite times. The activities in the water start, begin, and it's still pretty quiet there just because usually, kids are in school, and it's still kind of very crisp at night, and then you start to get those warm days. So it's been gorgeous.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we can get started. It's just after 4. So again, my name's Jamie Jones. I'm the Vice President of WhirlAway Travel. We're located in Westchester, Pennsylvania. We have a couple people, attendees today that are possibly not familiar with WhirlAway. So we specialize in customized travel, and one of our favorite partners in the U.S. is the resort at Paws Up. So we have Drew Bishop here today, and she's the director of sales, correct? At Paws Up. I actually found out about Drew through Instagram because she's got this great account called the Two Drews.
Yes. There are 2 Drews at Paws Up.
There are 2 Drews. There's the 2 Drews, and it's definitely entertaining. So Drew, it's nice to have you here. Thank you very much, and I'll leave it to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Obviously, partnerships and relationships like yours are so fantastic, especially now where we can spread the word of some amazing experiences that we can all hopefully look forward to in the near future. So what I'll do is share my screen now. Let's see here. In a moment. There we go. All right. Perfect. So of course, what JV said, we are, of course, the WhirlAway Travel and Cruise Consultants, and we are the resort at Paws Up and soon to be the Greeno in Montana. And we are your hosts, so we hope you have lots of great questions for us at the end. If you write a question in the chat area, we'll be sure to either answer it during the webinar or with a follow-up, because we want to get you all the information requested. I always like to start with where we're located. So we are 35 miles east of Missoula. That's a very beautiful drive along the Blackfoot River from the Missoula Airport. As you can see, there are a lot of connections domestically. There's not a connection from New York, New Jersey at the moment, or Philadelphia, but we certainly have some major hubs, and this is also where the private airstrip is located. And as part of the rate, you do get round-trip airport transfer with our team of bellmen who pick you up either right on the tarmac or right at baggage claim. And we are now a fully Lexus property, which means that you get picked up in a beautiful Lexus SUV. And when you're staying in our homes, you actually get a Lexus to use as part of the rate, which is a whole lot of fun. So I always like to also begin with a little history of our property. We are a 37,000 acre ranch. So that is larger than Manhattan, all for our guests and for our cattle, as well as a few other animals that you'll learn about in a minute. But what's really amazing about the property is that it's been a working cattle ranch for over 100 years. Our owners purchased the land in '97 for their cattle ranch that was once outside of Loveland, Colorado, because they wanted more space. And so they fell in love with the property for a few reasons. One, Big Sky Country, as I mentioned before, is captivated so beautifully on this piece of land. Montana is known as Big Sky Country for the tall peaks and the low valleys, and the sky really is different. They also were in love with the fact that there's 10 miles of the Blackfoot River, so some of the best fly fishing and rafting in all of Montana. Something that we wanted to address quickly is just the fact that we can create amazing private experiences on property. I'll get into that a little bit later, but we have remained open and have been able to serve our guests in incredible ways, as we have all private homes on property. So many people have retreated to Paws Up to be in the wilderness and be in a expansive, peaceful place. So we always like to mention that no matter what the scenario, Paws Up lends to large family groups, as well as couples and groups, large groups of friends traveling together, where you can really have everything remote and private. I mentioned the Blackfoot River here. So one of the most beautiful rivers in Montana. This is where our luxury camping is located. I also mentioned that there's many amazing animals on property besides our 1,000 head of cattle. So we have over 60 bison on property, as well as an elk reserve that you constantly see the elk kind of roaming around very safely. There's also usually about 5 bald eagle nests around the Blackfoot during the summer. And then of course, families of deer that like to roam around as well. Something really amazing about the property that I mentioned before is its history. We have one of the oldest homes in all of Montana. And the cattle ranch, the main, what we call the village area, has a lot of those original buildings that we have turned into a space that guests enjoy. So if you're looking for that traditional, historic, classic ranch experience, you really feel that when you're at Paws Up. What we decided to do was move the cattle operation and now use these spaces for our dining, our activities center, reception, and lounge areas. And then instead of making one big lodge, we decided to build these beautiful luxury homes all surrounding that area. So each one is on about a 4-acre lot. So you're looking out into the beautiful tree line. Each one has a beautiful living area with working fireplace, actually a kitchen to enjoy. Although all 3 meals a day will be included in your rate, often guests like to keep snacks cold or keep that bottle of wine chilled, make a cup of coffee in the morning. Each home has beautiful master suites as well as double queen rooms. There's separate loft areas, pull-out couches for those who have big families wanting to stay together. The homes range from 1 to 4 bedrooms, and each one has beautiful porches with hot tubs. So you certainly can utilize the outdoor space all year round. Something that is a little bit more unique, I would say, and something that is what we are known for at Paws Up is our luxury camping. So we have 6 different luxury campsites on property. They're all along the Blackfoot River, so about a 10-minute drive away from the main village area, because you are camping after all. Our bellmen will take guests back and forth to the village area for any sort of dining experiences they wish to have there, as well as activities. But at your campsite, it is a pretty unique and special experience. You have 6 different tents, which range from 1 to 3 bedroom, and you have your own beautiful dining pavilion where your camp butler is there to assist with anything you may need, as well as your chef. So you are not roughing it by any means. This is luxury camping or glamping, if you will, at its very best. As you can see, there's a beautiful lounge area here with great dining spaces, the bar used for cocktails at night, beautiful breakfast bar in the morning, and you're looking out on the Blackfoot River. WhirlAway Travel would be your experts to go to if you're looking for a particular campsite for a particular stay. That's where we can help you, guide you to the campsite that will best suit your family or your friends traveling. One of my favorite experiences that people have at Paws Up is that they buy out all 6 tents and then have this whole space to themselves. Many families will go and meet other families and at their campsite, and that sometimes makes their whole stay, and they'll come back together for years to come. But that kind of buyout experience is also equally as unique. We have our 1-bedroom tents here. This is one of our honeymoon tents with a beautiful grass tub. All have air conditioning, heat. They also have heated floors in their ensuite bathrooms. As you can see, king rooms, as well as twin bedded rooms that we can add an extra bunk to. So for a family of 5, quite comfortable. There's another nice photo. And then some do have gorgeous wraparound porches looking over the Blackfoot. That ensuite bath has rain showers, some with deep soaking tubs, and then those double vanity sinks. So again, not roughing it when you're glamping. That glamping is available at the end of May until the middle of October. And our homes, of course, are available all year round. We do not close. And then for the wilderness adventures, so a lot of people ask, what makes you unique to other ranch experiences? Well, we call ourselves a resort rather than a ranch for a reason. You can have all of the ranch experiences, but we have over 40 activities to offer. So there truly is something for everybody, whether it's a classic trail ride for someone who's never been on a horse before, or our cattle drive. We're one of the only ranches that actually have their own cattle, which is really amazing. We've also adopted some beautiful Mustang horses. You can watch our wranglers train our Mustangs, and also have horse whispering experiences. In the wintertime, we do indoor cowboy croquet, rodeos in the summer, barrel racing lessons, all sorts of really, really fun things. We have a beautiful sporting clays course and riflery course. No hunting on property, but that course for sporting clays has the most amazing views. We also have many water experiences. So whether it's canoeing on our Clearwater River that attaches to the Blackfoot, or flying on our own hot air balloon, which is one of the best ways to see the Rockies, you're really getting to experience all of the land in the best way. ATVing for people who have a little need for speed. It's one of my favorite experiences. Or again, another water experience with our white water rafting. We raft on property. We call it a float. About a category 1 to 2, but for those seeking a little more adventure with our guides, we can do a full day picnic, whitewater raft about 45 minutes away. So lots of options there as well. Again, for the adventurers, this is Lookout Rock, one of the best views on property. I'm so sorry, Lewis and Clark actually was, they journaled about being on Lookout Rock and their journey out west. So there's some amazing history at Paws Up as well. For kids, often, people find themselves trying to figure out how to entertain teenagers, kids of all ages with something that will get them super, super excited. And I'm proud to say that it is truly all at Paws Up, whether it's go-karting, archery, paintball, our Skyline aerial adventure course, or our very own island in Montana, which some people kind of don't believe at first, but we are at the base of the Lakes region, one of the beautiful Lakes region in Montana. Salmon Lake is about a 15-minute drive, and then a 30-second pontoon ride where you get this whole island to enjoy for the day with a guide to enjoy jet skis, paddle boards, reading on the dock, trampoline, wakeboarding and water skiing, and then you have a chef there to cook you your lunch or your dinner. This will be available for overnight stays by next year, but right now we're just doing day trips here, and it's a really special experience when, of course, in the summer when the weather allows. It's usually Memorial Day to Labor Day. And then for the winter, so all of those activities that I just mentioned are available, besides, of course, the lake and the whitewater raft, through really the beginning of November, and then starts again in spring, about late April. Otherwise, we do have an amazing winter program at Paws Up. So for those seeking a Western winter experience, something a little bit different from downhill skiing, although we can arrange transfers about 1 hour away to Snowball Mountain, or I always recommend Whitefish in north of us, our Big Sky south. We have our dog sledding experience, winter trail rides, snowmobiling. We also have a triathlon, the sporting clays. We have our amazing e-bikes and our cross-country skiing and snowshoeing. This is one of my favorites. It's very popular in Northwest Montana. It's actually called skijoring. So skijoring means skiing behind a horse. It is such a blast. It's actually easier than water skiing or downhill skiing because you don't have to get out of the water or worry about going down a hill. So we have beautiful courses in our meadows for that. I mentioned e-bikes, which are available all year round, as well as our very own curling course. The curling course, our beautiful ice skating pond, which weaves around our blast mountain, which is our tubing mountain with a rope tow, are both new experiences at Paws Up. We also have a gorgeous spa in the summer looking over the mountains, full spa with massage, facial, whatever you may want. Even your dogs can have a spa treatment because we are dog friendly. And then we have a beautiful yoga studio with yoga and Pilates. And then for the culinary experiences, because this is very important as well. This is a close-up image of our village area that I showed you at the beginning. And this is what we call the yard. Adjacent to this, you have cornhole and tetherball and horseshoes and all sorts of games that kids love to use and adults alike to run around. You have our beautiful fire pits where people are constantly, enjoying with wine or hot cocoa or s'mores, of course. And then this outdoor dining area is something that we utilize all summer long for any meal. The stage to the right will have live music on it multiple nights a week. In that facility is our Pomp, our fine dining restaurant by our chef Sunny Jin. Amazing Northwestern cuisine. We try to stay very true to our local purveyors, so unbelievable steaks, trout, huckleberry, anything. Huckleberries are the fruit of Montana. And then our more casual restaurant, Trough, where you can experience a beautiful breakfast and lunch. And then Tank, which is where you can have a gorgeous cocktail or a more casual burger or any meal you would want here. Something new that we've added from last year is we've added our own brick oven pizza delivery service. So you also have the ability for some really amazing private dining, whether it's pizza cozied up by the fire with your family because you want a night in during your stay, or one of our chuck wagon dinners, which is the old-fashioned dinners along the Blackfoot River with wagon rides, games, and music, and cowboy ghost storytelling, or one of our long tables where we invite famous celebrity chefs and James Beard award-winning chefs from all over the country to come out and have a beautiful spread for our guests in the middle of one of our pastures. We can do all of those experiences privately for those who would like to have it. There's so many more that I could even go through today, like a beautiful dinner along the river bend for a honeymoon couple with champagne, by horseback ride, things like that. 37,000 acres lends for some really cool experiences. I mentioned the steaks and the huckleberries before. This is where they're used in pancakes. And something I always like to kind of go over is the season. So at the beginning, I did mention that there's so much to look forward to throughout the summer as well as throughout the fall. We're ending the summer with our Fish and Feast. So for those who love fly fishing, one of our fly fishing partners to come out and allow guests to use their amazing rods. We also have Dennis Cake Bread from Cake Bread Wineries, some of the best wine in Napa, and then two James Beard award-winning chefs from Vail and Chicago. For those horseback riders, we have our Cowgirl Spring Roundup. Normally now it's our Fall Roundup every year with some incredible women who love horseback riding, and there's photography classes, seminars, spa, and then you basically get to utilize everything equestrian that Paws Up has to offer. Our culinary experiences become often packaged weekends. So our Montana Master Chefs is every September, where we have all this year, it's a different theme every year, but this year, chefs from the South. I can tell you from personal experience that these are incredible chefs. Kevin Gillespie alone is one of the best meals I've ever had in Atlanta. So it's a really cool experience for our guests to become up close and personal experiences with culinary classes, 5-course dinners, activities with these chefs. So for foodies, it's kind of a foodie dream. It's also a time where the foliage is absolutely spectacular. It tends to be peak in the middle of October, but you certainly feel it all fall long. That includes our Thanksgiving. And and also our Christmas and New Year as well. The snow definitely is covering the ground Christmas and New Year's. Then we become truly a winter wonderland and provide that storybook Christmas for our clients. Santa comes on his sleigh. There's fresh Christmas trees in the homes, stockings, and all of the activities that I mentioned before. And of course, that rolls into New Year's with lots of bubbly and live music and all sorts of good stuff. So if you're interested, certainly the WhirlAway team can tell you more about it. Something to very briefly mention is the Greeno. The Greeno is our new adult-only property that we are opening in the fall, in September. It is a Montana woodland hideaway right on Paws Up's land up the mountain, where we have built 12 freestanding homes, quite similar to Paws Up's layout, where you have a freestanding home on a 4-acre area looking over the trees with beautiful indoor-outdoor spaces to enjoy. These are 1 king bedded homes, so we have really geared this towards 21 plus friends or single travelers enjoying our couples who want to really get away and be a bit away from any family travel on property. They also may be interested in this architecturally, since it's quite different from the rest of Paws Up. They will have their own beautiful restaurant with lots of tasting menus and very intimate experiences with an open fire kitchen. And they'll also have access to everything that Paws Up has to offer. Full spa treatments, as well as access to those activities at Paws Up, which they can experience privately straight from the Greeno area. So certainly we will provide more information on that to the WhirlAway team to share with you all as soon as we are able to get those images with the property being completed. It's already under construction, and we hope to have the opening date stay to September 1st for this year. So it is priced the same way as Paws Up as well, with all of those inclusive experiences of round trip airport transfer, our all 3 meals per day, beer, wine, and liquor with lunch and dinner, and then the added values from WhirlAway Travel. And that is it. I know it's a lot of information, but hopefully that gave you an overview of the property, and I appreciate you guys listening. Looks like there may be a few questions.
We have questions, yes. Okay, so the first question that I have is, what is the minimum age for children?
There is no minimum age. That's a great question. I should have addressed that. Our kids camp starts at 3 up. So from 3 until 12 is our kids camp. They do divide that into age groups. Kids camp is normally 200 per child per day or 100 per half day, but that's something where we would add 2 days for your clients, complimentary. And we also have babysitting services 24/7 for any age.
Awesome. Okay, and then what is the average length of stay?
It does depend on why you're coming to the property. So in the summer, for example, it does tend to be that 5 to 7 nights. A lot of people do pair us with Glacier National Park or Yellowstone in the summer, so sometimes then it's a bit shorter. The same thing with the holidays or spring break, it tends to be that 5 to 7. For those looking for a long weekend getaway, maybe to attend one of our culinary events, it tends to be about 4. Okay. Otherwise, you don't get to experience everything.
Right. And so that was actually another question is, can you do most of the activities in a week, or do you need to have a longer stay than a week?
No, it's a great question. It depends on how active you want to be. Prior to arrival, you connect with one of our concierge team members, and they talk about every experience that is available on property. You create your schedule. They let you know if we have, say, a guest artist there, one of our guest chefs, to experience something unique on property. And some people do 2 to 3 a day if they're ambitious, and then some people want to kick their feet back. I would say a week gives you a nice amount of them, but you could stay for 3 probably. Not too long.
Another question that we have is, do you need a Montana fishing license to fly fish?
You do, and that is something that can be arranged through our concierge.
Okay. I have more. The questions were like flowing in, which is awesome.
Good. Hey, I'm here.
So if the activities are not all included, correct?
They are not. So everything with a guide is a la carte. That's something that we can assist them prior to arrival to kind of map out what they would want to do. We do have pricing on property. On our website. And I would normally average between 100 and 300 per person per day, depending on what you want to do on property.
So since they're not included, if you have like a multi-generational family going, is there any way to package activities together? Especially if you have like, grandparents that are paying my mom.
Definitely. Yeah. So that's one of the many reasons to work with WhirlAway for this, for your stay with us. I think pre-packaging some amazing experiences together is something we are always happy to do. And we create, a whole itinerary where you can pay ahead of time, and then we can always add on later. But that way we create beautiful, structured itineraries with group activities versus individuals. And everybody knows what they're going to be doing when they come to the property, and it gets them excited. So the answer is absolutely.
All right. And then how long in advance do you need to book activities? And does it depend on the time of year?
Great question. Normally we have our concierge reach out 30 days prior to arrival,
Okay.
especially in the summertime where it is our busiest. If it's a quieter time of year, it just kind of depends on when you book, how much farther in advance.
All right. And right now I have two more as of right now. Do you offer gluten-free, vegetarian, and vegan dining?
Absolutely. Yes, we can accommodate all of that.
Okay. Are your ATV experiences guided?
They are, yes. They do have to be guided with our guides who are incredible. They know everything about the land, and they really kind of read the crowd. They'll, go a little off-roading with you a little bit, or they can make it more of a tour. So, yeah.
And then the last one that I have for today is, if all the meals are included and you're staying in a home, how does it work if you want to cook some meals yourself?
Great question. So we can stock groceries prior to arrival if guests wish. They also can retrieve items from our kitchen. Something very popular, especially in the warmer months, is for our kitchen to put together all of the fixings for guests to do their own barbecue at their homes, since they do have grills on their porches. But it really just depends. Another way to do it is when you arrive at the airport, you can request our bellman to stop at the grocery store in Missoula, if that's something that you're interested in.
Okay. And then I have one more that just came in. What are the weather conditions for the summer and fall season? Is there a rainy season?
There's not necessarily a rainy season, but it certainly is seasonal. The summertime, can get up to 90 degrees, but it's that dry heat, and then it cools off at night. The fall, it's in the mountains, so you can have a 65 to 70 degree day, and then you make it a dusting, which goes away by 7 a.m. The same thing with the spring. The spring tends to be a little bit more wet because it is when the snow is melting in March, but as long as you're willing to kind of put on that extra layer, you always, you tend to always get a beautiful day if you're there for.
And I just got two more. This is amazing. All these questions that are coming.
I'm glad.
Are there any other nearby ATV trails besides what is on property?
So we border the Luberite Wilderness Forest, and certainly people do go out on their own there who are local to those trails, and some excursions do take place in part of that area in the winter for snowmobiling. For example, we go to this Garnet Ghost Town, which was an old mining town, which was a very cool experience in the summer too by ATV. But with, if you're at Paws Up and sign up for a Paws Up experience, we do have you do that with our guides, but some guests it would be something that we would just talk about if someone brought their own ATV, how that would work.
And then the last question that I have, and anything else that comes in, we'll definitely have somebody from WhirlAway reach out to you. Is there an age limit for rock climbing or any of the water activities?
So yes, so the water, like what rafting, excuse me, and fishing, it's something where the fishing is like 6 up, rafting 6 up, but all of our age limits are on our website.
Okay.
That being said, if you haven't experienced, a child who's experienced, or you really want them to experience something, that we always have conversations with our activities director. And if the parent is comfortable, then it's just something that they would sign off on while they're on property.
Okay, perfect. So I think that's about it. So I do want to add for everybody on here, because we have such a great partnership with the Resort at Paws Up, all of our clients already receive a $300 guided wilderness adventures credit to be used on property. Drew has been so generous with us for this webinar, and she's offered an hour horseback trail ride per guest for any stay book. So please, if you have this on your list, this is one of the most incredible destinations in the U.S., and I urge you, go to Paws Up.
Yes,
Take me.
please come see us. There's so much to see, and we would love to meet you in person, and show you what Montana's all about.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Drew.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Well, soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.